I'm Manuel Hernandez and welcome to Norwich City Centre.
Hello everybody, Lewis, Norwich City Centre. I hope you're all doing well. West Ham United preview, Norwich City at home for what is now our second last game of the season at Carrow Road. And it could be quite a bad day because Norwich City could get relegated in this game week, and it could be quite likely with how Norwich City are playing. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. And yes, it's all about preparing for next season now and, trying to get everything right going into the championship season. And the question is, will Norwich end up losing every single game? Because it could be a real possibility. Obviously, coming up against West Ham, we were in 16th place and fighting for survival. We then have Chelsea on the Tuesday night, I think 8:15. And they're third in the table? And then mid-table Burnley, and then Manchester City away on the last game of the season, which is not going to be fun. So realistically, this could be Norwich City's best opportunity to, get a point and make sure they don't lose every game. And since lockdown's come back, since coming back from lockdown, it's been really hard, isn't it? And it's all about preparing for next season. And, in an ideal world, you kind of want the season just to end now and, just to work on the championship season. But, 4 games still to go. Let's hope Norwich City can show some fight. And, at least try not to make the situation even more embarrassing and try and get some points on the board. It's all about trying to improve upon our defensive woes. I think Norwich City have conceded the most goals in the whole of the Premier League. And, trying to tighten up in defensively. But also going forward as well, there's been a real lack of goals. Emi Buendia managed to score against Watford early on. And I think that was only our third open play goal in 2020, which clearly shows, there's a lack of creativity and a lack of goals. So, yeah, going into these last 4 games, you just want to see Norwich City improve, put positive performances, and that will make us feel more confident going into the Championship. Because there's nothing worse than losing all these games from now to the end of the season badly, not scoring any goals, and that could really affect the harmony of the dressing room and the confidence in Daniel Farke. So you still want to see fight and some positive signs going into next season. And as a team, you can blame the strike force, you can blame players like Josip Drmic and Duda, that defensively as well we've been equally as poor. And you can single out players, which I think is right, but ultimately you've got to blame the whole team and everyone for this failure. But hopefully, going again next season with Farke at the helm, Norwich City can have a positive season. Already the likes of Senani, Melvin City and Sam McCallum are training. Norwich City have been linked with some very high profile players as well. So there's positive signs to get into. But let's hope we can get a win against West Ham. And turning our attention to West Ham, they're obviously 16th in the table, 31 points. I think that was a massive victory for them up against Chelsea about a week ago now. West Ham are now 3 points clear of the drop zone. But West Ham have still got a very realistic chance of getting relegated. You feel, it's going to be 2 teams from Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Watford and West Ham. So West Ham are still fighting. They've got Aston Villa on the last game of the season as well, which could be decisive. So yeah, West Ham are still very much in danger. But under David Moyes, they haven't really got things going. And West Ham are a big club, and their fans deserve better than playing at the London Stadium and the likes of David Moyes at their helm. But the players to look out for, Antonio, very deadly player, who's gone into that strike force now, and he looks very physical and could cause Ben Godfrey some problems. And Yarmolenko as well, Ukrainian winger, scored the winner against Chelsea and looks very dangerous. So West Ham are still in the fight. They've got a lot to play for. Norwich City now, they haven't really got a lot to play for in terms of the Premier League campaign. Daniel Farke has already conceded that Norwich City are going to get relegated. But they're saying they're still going to fight. But where was this fight early on in the season? But let's go through the predicted team now in this video. And as you can see now, this is the team I would face up against West Ham United. In goal, Tim Krul. Very interesting that the Player of the Season votes have now come out. So if you do want to vote for your Player of the Season, just log on to the Norwich City FC website and cast your vote. For me, Tim Krul gets the vote. I think he's been our Player of the Season. I can think of only one real mistake he's made all season, actually, and that was against Arsenal quite recently. He's been absolutely superb this season. A reliable shot stopper, provides a lot of experience at the back, and will he stay for Norwich City? I think so. I think you've got to also consider personal reasons for the players as well. And Tim Krul's got a young kid and very settled here in Norfolk and Norwich. So I imagine Tim Krul to stay, and I expect him to get Player of the Season as well. A back four, we all know what that back four is going to consist of. Max Aarons, Tim Closer, Ben Godfrey and Jamal Lewis at the back. As I said, this is a very young back four, but it's still, Norwich City have still conceded the most goals in the league, the second most goals in the league, and we've still been really poor it's not just the defenders' fault, though, it's the whole team for not kind of protecting them. And, you know, we've suffered due to, you know, the centre-back crisis we've had and midfielders, you know, getting injured as well. But yeah, a back four, Jamal Lewis I thought was poor against Watford, but I hope he stays at Norwich City next season. He's a great player. Tim Closer and Ben Godfrey at the back. Really interesting news in the last few days that Ben Godfrey's been valued at 50 million from Norwich City, and I think that's way too excessive. He's definitely not worth that much, but it shows the Norwich City and what power we have now. You know, we don't have to sell these youngsters. We can bargain and we can negotiate quite a high price for our youngsters, which is good. And although the season's been a complete failure in terms of our short-term recruitment, in the long term we're really financially secure, which we haven't been in previous seasons, and that puts us in good stead. And Max Aaron's right back as well. I think Max could potentially go, although it wouldn't, you know, the likes of Ben, Jamal and Max, I think another season in the Championship wouldn't hurt them whatsoever. And would definitely, you know, boost Norwich's chances of promotion next season. Two central defensive midfielders, Alex Tettey and Mario Ramchich. Daniel Farke came out and said Kenny McLean was his most complete midfielder, which I found very interesting. He said that, you know, Kenny McLean's perfect in terms of his attacking possibilities, defensive possibilities, and, you know, praised him for his heading stats, passing stats, all those kind of things. And I do like Kenny McLean. I think he's a really good Championship midfielder. Farke clearly likes him. You know, whenever Kenny McLean's been available and hasn't suffered for injuries, he's normally been kind of the first name on the team sheet. But for me, I would still consider playing Alex Tettey and Mario Ramchich. For me, Alex Tettey's been an unsung hero this season. He's never put in like a 9 or a 10 out of 10 performance, but what he has been, he's been a solid 6, 7 out of 10 performance each and every game. He's a player who loves the club. Mario Ramchich alongside him. I thought Mario Ramchich did well against Watford. You can already, particularly in the first half, lead a nice range of passing and whatnot. And for me, you've got to build your team around, you know, some of your best players. And for me, Mario Ramchich is our best player. Be very interesting to see if Farke picks him, though. You know, I want to see Farke pick players from now to the end of the season. Players who are going to fight for this football club and care about this football club, but also players who are going to be here next season. There's no point in playing a player like Duda because he's not going to be here next season, and not, you know, obviously he's not performed to the levels we want him to perform. So I'd love to see a team built around Mario Ramchich. The three attacking midfielders: Hernandez, Sheepman, and Emi Buendia. It was great to see Emi Buendia get his first Premier League goal against Watford. Took it superbly as well, and he's a player who Norwich City could find very hard to keep. And if Emi Buendia does leave Norwich City, then, you know, someone like Dennis Mann, who we've been linked with in a 10 to 15 million pound deal, could be the guy to replace him. I've done a video on that. You'll be able to see that at the end of the suggested video. Yeah, Dennis Mann looks a really good player, and Norwich City have been linked with him. He could be Emi Buendia's replacement. You don't know. But yeah, Buendia, really, really good player on his day. He seems to really, you know, care and fight for this club, which is nice to see. Through the middle, Marcus Sheepman. It was good to see him back in the team. For me, Marcus Sheepman is, again, similar to Kenny McLean, a really good Championship player. But, you know, in the Premier League, I would like to see him play from now to the end of the season in the Premier League, but he hasn't particularly quite stepped up maybe the way we wanted him to. But, you know, his physicality is nice. And it's good to see him in and around the team again, and he's certainly a player who can strike a ball from distance. And Ono Hernandez on the left, really, really good assist actually against Watford. The way he bullies the man, completely, you know, pushes him to the floor and plays a nice ball into Emi Buendia. Ono Hernandez is a name who I want to see stay at Norwich City next season. He loves the club and a really good player. And Adam Eder up front as well, missed a really, really good chance against Watford. He'll be gutted he missed that. And he'd be gutted as well in the Brighton game with the last kick of the game. He almost scored, but his shot went the wrong side. Hit the post and then just agonisingly goes across the goal line and doesn't go in. But Adam Eder, yes. I think, you know, Dermot has had a run in the team, hasn't done that much. Pukki's had a run in the team, but, you know, I think Pukki's struggled, you know, in recent months. So I think Adam Eder deserves a shot now for the last few games to see what he can do. He looks like a real exciting young talent. So that would be the team I'll play against West Ham. And as I said, as I kind of concluded here, West Ham are going to be very much up for this. They're going to fight. West Ham are going to see this as probably a realistic chance to get 3 points and to move away from the drop zone. And, you know, if they did win, they could potentially be 6 points clear with only 3 games left. But alternatively, if Bournemouth were to beat Leicester and West Ham were to lose to Norwich, then they're right back in the thick of things. So it's a big game for West Ham. For Norwich City, it's not too much a big game now. I think kind of our love and attention for Norwich City this season has slowly been dwindling away just from poor performances. But it's still important we prepare for next season, and we don't want to lose every game. That's going to be embarrassing. So I want to see Norwich City, go out there and win, and try and improve upon the defensive woes we've had this season, and try and get a few more goals as well. That's always nice to see. In terms of a score prediction, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I've not seen enough from Norwich City to suggest we're going to win a game of football, but I think our performance against Watford was slightly improved, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw with Onel Hernandez to score. Thank you for watching this preview and predicted XI video. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, as Norwich City could potentially be relegated this game week, which is not nice, is it? But I think it's as expected. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Norwich City Central, and I shall see you later. Goodbye.